Hi everyone, I am Rajesh Kumar. I am having close to 16 plus years of experience in DevOps, SRE and DevSecOps. I have worked with more than 12 software organizations around the globe. I would like to introduce you all a DevOpsSchool's flagship certification program in DevOps, SRE and DevSecOps. This program will get started in the weekends, so get enrolled. Please contact us on the phone number given on the screen, and in fact you can email us on the contact@DevOpsSchool.com. So you have to be a little serious about it. What are the data types? And for this, I need a little bit of help. And that help should be coming from slides. Okay. So now I'm going to only focus on certain data types. So let's get started. So if you look at this Python data types, uh, you will find many data types. The reason is Python has been growing a lot from last few years. Earlier, we were using Python 2.x. That was only for the system scripting purpose. Very less software development used to happen. But nowadays, Python has become a very mature with the 3.0. So people have started using in the networking, website development, and people have started using in the machine learnings, AI, mathematics. Many places they have started using. Of course, DevOps. So if you see that primarily they have multiple data types like a numeric, dictionary, boolean, set, sequence type, and all stuff like that. Now under the numeric you have primarily one: integer and float and complex number. And under the sequence type you have a strings, tuple, and list. So these are the sequence type you have, and then numeric. So, these data types like a number, string, tuples, list, dictionary, and set. Some of these are mutable and some of these are non-immutable. So the question will come like, what is the meaning of mutable, and what is the meaning of immutable? So mutable data types like a list, dictionary, and set in Python, where the value assigned to variable can be changed. That means, let's say in the list you create or dictionary or set, you can change the variables actually, values, whatever you can change that. But here, immutable, you cannot change that number, string, and tuples. You can reassign it, but you cannot change that. Okay, so data types in Python where the value assigned to a variable cannot be changed. Okay, so this is something which you need to understand. And now there is a one more classifications, you see primitive and non-primitive. So what does that mean? So primitive means this is a come from the legacy version of Python. Legacy version means Python 0.2 or something like that. And non-primitive means it has come along with new version of 2.7 plus or something 3.2. So integer in string, when the Python got introduced, integer, string, boolean, float has come, but later on list, array, files, tuples, sets got added. Okay, so now this is a complete list. I'll show you a few more slides like this just to get comfortable with it. Okay, so here you see the complete list of primitive, starting with integer, float, string, boolean, and non-primitive like array, list, tuples, dictionary, set, files. Again, under the list also you see linear, non-linear, stack, queue, graph, and trees. By the way, any idea what is a stack, queues, graph, and trees? Any one of you?
Yeah.
What is that? Guys, request you to be mute on that if you're not speaking, because I'm consistently getting some noise. I think it's coming from Sainath or something. Sainath, you can mute yourself. Yeah. So what is this stake, queues, graph, trees, Any idea?
Yeah, stacks queues. They're like data structures first in, first out, last in, first out. And then graph is
Yeah.
like your, trees. You have like a no, root node, and then from there you have like other nodes that
Yeah.
you can.
Sure. Yeah. So that is something which we have it. Anyone else? Anyone else? So guys, a data structure is very important. I would suggest you, let's be passionate about the programming. It's not that difficult. Okay. And it's all about the passion. Okay. So once you learn question number 1 to 7, okay, and after that, once you write some small software, okay, maybe some calculation or school record or college record or something, you have might have done it, but still let's do that again in life. Okay, don't get scared from the programming language. It's just required little bit of setting hours, and that's all. So uh, after that, once you complete this question number 7, get into the data structure. Okay. Oops concept anyways you have to study. Don't get into too deep, okay? Because if you start getting in the too deep, then you will lose the interest. Slowly, first understand class, then how do we create object, how do we create class, and then you will see inheritance, polymorphism, constructor, abstractions, all these things. Understand that small program, you see that, and then move on to the data structure. Okay, so if you are targeting the some of the companies like a Google, Facebook, Amazon, LinkedIn, Twitter, eBay, Adobe, Intuit, then they will ask you these questions, because no matter what kind of profile you have, whether it's you are doing QA or DevOps or anything else, also operations, they will ask you to write a code, and they will ask you to write a opt for one programming language. They will say, hey, which language you are comfortable. So you can't say I never code for that, then it's a disconnect call. So this is like a disaster. Yeah, I mean, getting a call is like one thing, and then you are saying like I don't want to be a part of the your interview process. Why? Because I never program. So they will ask you to write a program first, and only two things if you want to be successful in IT industry. One is like knowing the Linux. Okay, that's important. Knowing the Linux to the level where you can be very comfortable working with that. And second thing, learning at least one programming language, at least one. That is means you, for us it's a Python, right? So just spend some time on that data structure and all, and get into that. So it will definitely help you. So these are the Python uh, data structure, data types. We have primitive and non-primitive. You have so many, but don't get too scared from that. Okay, do I? What is array? I don't know. It's all are very simple if you just spend some time. Okay, now this slide is also very good. Lots of information, I get it immediately. So these are the types, and then you have one examples at the right side. So how do you represent the numbers? So it can be float, double, long, and all stuff like that. So numbers you have 1, 2, 3, 4. That is float, you can say, and decimal fractions. String, how do you do that? So single quote also and double quote also, you can do that. List, how do you present? So list always, if you carefully look at it, for the defining the list, you need a square bracket. So by the way, how many elements you have in this list? Anyone have idea?
3.
Anyone? Three. And in fact, the element number two itself is a list, by the way. Okay, so that means what I'm reading here, you can store the list inside a list. Correct? No? Here left again we have a dictionary. If I look at it, dictionary, it always start with a curly braces. Okay. Then tuples. If I look at the tuples, it always start with parenthesis. So at least list, if I see, and dictionary and tuples, I see the multiple values you have. Okay, multiple values, list, dictionary, and tuples. Multiple values you have. But how do you define the list? Square bracket. How do you define the dictionary? Curly braces. How do you define the tuples? Parentheses. So that you will remember. Rest of the things I think you will get used to it. Dictionary means key and value. List will be separated by comma, and in fact tuples will be separated by comma. Now you may have a question, so what is the difference between list and tuples? So that is also very good questions actually. This is the interview questions. What is the difference between list versus dictionary versus tuples versus set also they will ask you. Okay, so these are the questions. Now most of the questions in the interview, if you are having the Python interview, let's say, it will come from the list or a dictionary or a tuples or set. 90% of the questions they will give you some questions and you'll have to fix it, and the questions will be related to list, tuples, set, or dictionary. So prepare accordingly and
So
other
unlike in Java or some language like that, right? Like C sharp. So you don't have like new or anything when you create a like when you go in here,
so
like
new
I would have to not the
new
class. Sorry, for the float and double and everything, right? You'll have to
yeah,
differentiate in
yeah.
Java.
Correct. That's a very good observation. So what is happening here in Java is a strong type language. Strong type means if you declare some variables, data types, then you have to tell what types of data you have in this. But in Python, it's not like that. Python automatically detect based on the whatever you declare it. Okay, so that you can also do that. You can say, okay, this is a list, this is a dictionary, this is integer, this is a string, all these things. But because Python is a loosely type while programming, you don't have to do that. So because of this feature, the Python development become little more faster than Java. Make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
So like this. So now the question is, okay, fine. How do we do that? So look at this here. You are doing the, you see
Sorry,
that C.
just one more question. If you can go back to the previous slide, right? I wanted to ask. So within list, you have one, and you have two, and then three as well. And, like
Yeah.
that's not a number, but so within a list, we can have different data types put together.
Lists within list.
Yeah. So list within a list. That is there.
Yes.
So the second element what you have itself is a list. So
That is
that is
fine,
what it.
but
Yeah.
in a list in Java, right?
Yeah.
You can have list of integers, but here you don't have list of integers. You have integer and also a string.
It can be. Yeah, it can
Okay.
be. It can be. You can represent like that. And sometime while arithmetic operations and all, you need to tell whether it's integer or string. So that way, that time you will take care of that uh,
Okay.
specification. Okay, so now you see that here, same thing we were discussing earlier. This is how you put it up in C++, and this is how somewhere downside uh, Python. Okay, so this is something which you do. Okay, so now this is the numbers representations in Python. So if you want to represent integer 10, if you want to represent the float 1.5, and you want to
Complex.
integer complex 3 plus 4g. So this is simple one. Now, how do you do that? So look at this very simple way. There is a one function I have written. Now where we have written, so in the console itself, Python console, the one which you type just Python you write, you will get a console on the command line. Okay, you can get the console in Linux also, Windows also. Just now I got it and I killed that using Control G or something like that, Control Z. So here you have a function. There's a function def. I am not teaching you function now, I'll discuss just for the demo. Okay, so here you see a and b, add numbers is a function, pass getting accepting the parameter a plus b and printing a plus b. That means the return itself is a 1 plus a plus b. And you are passing here 5 plus 11 and then passing 16. But if you look at the second one, passing 5 and then you are passing string. and then what error you'll get, read the last line. Okay, last line. Are you understanding? So here, while declaring the variable, you don't need to define, but while using it, you need to be little bit.
If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopssschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video.
Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest.
Thanks for watching.